Hey everyone, we have 2 days left in this season, and I don't know about you, but season's been feeling kind of off. Like on the surface, we have double rocket shots per bow, clone rifles, tiny shock, hits are super fast, but something about it doesn't seem so fun. So let me know in the comments if you feel the same way, but today we are going to pick up some extra tokens. Between cryo bombers and cryo tanks, which one's everyone's favorite? Of course it's cryo tanks. So we got some tokens, we're going to max out our troop damage, and save the rest of these tokens for mortars eventually. Burning this base, bunch of spread out engines again, and let's try a few hits. The one maybe good news, or maybe bad news about next season is, well, one, it's gonna be 2 weeks long again, but the other thing is, like this season had a lower rank start, it's gonna be the same. So we're all gonna start with 20% of our stars instead of the normal 40%, which means that most people should start between rank maybe 6 and 9. So I wouldn't feel too pressured that if you don't finish high this season, it won't matter so much next season. But here we got this base. And sometimes we can do the same hit where we do rifle lasers on one side, Choppas here. But in other cases, you can do even a more just all rifle hit. So we'll do one doctor, then take a few rifles on this side, and see how it goes. It's really timing our flares, so we do 2 rifles here, one on this side, and everyone else here. Perfect flare point is right to the right of the ST, because then you can see the rifles over here on the left and the right, all are kind of perfect. I'm going to do 2 tinies on those flames, and maybe one more on that one right there. Some doctors are being dumb, but I think the others should be going on the right side. We'll go ahead to a few more tinies on the shock blasters, some more second winds. And if you see where the rifles go, we got some on the left side, got some going for this engine, and some on this middle one. So it's really trying to get the perfect split. Gonna wait a few more seconds because I want to make sure these engines go down. But maybe a last bit of artillery on the top one. So as long as you get a good split, you can still get above 3 or 5 times. These attacks can be a bit easier. As long as you get the good flare point, then the rifle should go the right way. We do 2 on the left side because sometimes some like to go on these snipers. With that flare point, it looks like they're going to go left, but they do a weird split and eventually go on the right side. So it's that point right to the right of the ST, and doing maybe 2 or 3 flares as long as you get enough rifles where they're kind of around these engines. Otherwise on the right side, trying to make sure that Kavan and Doctor stay there. If there is like a rocket on the beach, you can even tiny shock it, just to make sure there's less damage on these rifles, and the Doctors stay there. Otherwise, keep on doing second winds, and hope for a good split. And I guess in the last attack, we could have also taken one laser, but there's so many variations of doing these attacks where it's whatever you feel comfortable with. This one is kind of like an old style base. You can do 2 rifles, 1 doctor on the right side, and then a bunch of choppas on the left. So I get those going. For the most part, it's spread bases take choppas, and those weird compacts take a bunch of rifles. And here I like going all the way in the corner because it's closer to that engine. 2 rifles, Dr. Kavan, and then all the choppas here. Don't really have to worry about the right side, just doing some tiny shocks in these cannons and boom cannons. Kavan's dead because he's perfect, but it doesn't really matter on this type of hit. As long as we tiny shock these cannons, and once the right one goes down, you even start flaring. Because then the right rifles can come along and distract the other stuff. I like flaring the left one first because the rifles kind of go across and can distract that shock blaster and boom cannon. Even tining that sniper because it can be annoying. And once this engine goes down, we send that final flare. And I guess maybe it's gonna do a smoke, but doesn't really matter. Still losing a lot of choppas. So another downside of this season, again for no IT, is to do a fast hit with choppas, sometimes you gotta lose half of them. But 3 or 7, still an okay time. And getting that 1-second win. So looking at the last base again, he did have 40 building damage, so Kinda made sense why we lost a bunch to shock blasters, snipers, even machine guns. But here we got this base, and think we can go with full rifles. Maybe still doing one laser on this side and try that out. So it's one doctor, one laser. We'll delay 2 rifles on this side, and I think we should have a good split on the right over here. Because of this rocket, we don't want the doctors to go on the left, so we're going to tiny shock it. Go ahead, do 2 rifles, tiny shock, and everyone on this side except the laser, because the laser is a bit fast. And again, flaring to the right of ST. And after we do 1 flare, next one can be just on a building, especially for the lasers to have some range, and then tiny shock the shock blasters. Rifle should have a good split, everyone on this side too. And I guess we'll tiny that far flame too. And then get that one pinned down too. Otherwise let everyone go, keep on doing second winds. This one is a lot faster because he has no mortars, no building damage, no boom surprise. And in a few seconds, just art on the last engine. So maybe still could be a second faster, but 3 or 6 isn't too bad. That laser didn't make things so much faster, but maybe it still helps on some other bases. This one getting a draw, so everyone's being super fast right now. You can see what that guy was doing. Looks like doing some rifles, Choppas on the right side. So we have almost every building that kind of defends against Choppas. And with 100 troop damage, you can just pinpoint different engines. And for our last attack, looks like we got a super nasty base. He's got mortars, building damage, almost everything. This one I like taking mainly Choppas too. Going 2 rifles, 1 doctor on the right side, and we can just do Choppas on the left. Still 1 rifle because distracting that shock blaster boom cannon, it saves a lot of tiny shocks for later on. So here again doing it in the corner, 2 rifles, doctor, 1 rifle over here. And the Choppas you can split across each ramp, and doing 1 tiny on that shock blaster. Otherwise these rifles should distract those buildings, and gotta make sure you pin down these guys here. That cannon too, I guess around the same time. You really want to make sure these Choppas get those engines at the same time, and the rifles get that one. Otherwise just waiting a few seconds. Come on Zed again because he likes to be. And pretty soon we can just start flaring. We even have enough GB to tiny that machine gun, and the boom cannon we can have the rifle distract. Other machine guns pretty annoying, so losing 1 or 2 Choppas. But pretty soon we can do 1 more flare, and not looking too bad. Got a few arts in the last DR. It looks like we still should get above 3 minutes, and this one a bit nastier, getting 302. Maybe with cryo tanks we would have been a bit faster, but it's fine. Still pulling that win. And today I guess was a good run, got a decent amount of wins. But now tomorrow, probably our last push of the season, we can pick up mortars, and I think maybe that boom surprise. For those really far ahead, then you can get some more tokens, get building damage, but this whole tree was pretty expensive. And maybe that's another reason why it was a bit difficult, because you always have something to get, you can always get beat by people with more tech than you. But again, let me know your thoughts on this season, and that's going to be it for today's video. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time.